so much for joining us, Andrew. It's been a pleasure having you here as a speaker, and thank you for taking the time to do this interview with us. And we're very keen to have a bit of a snapshot and an insight into how ECP have gained such a competitive advantage in working in Africa and how you keep above the competition, as it were.
Okay, well, I think one of the main advantages we've had is we started a long time before a lot of other people saw the opportunity. So we raised our first fund in 2000. We then raised a second Pan-African fund in 2005. And just by having a head start on everyone else, we've been able to build out an office network across seven offices across Africa and build one of the largest investment teams on the continent. And I think just having that network and having that presence on the ground enables us to identify opportunities and execute transactions that other people don't get to see.
Absolutely, and one of the key messages, in fact, has been skilled and experienced staff on the ground. We've definitely taken that away from the discussions we've seen so far. Another one has been ensuring that you admit mistakes, where they happen, and private equity is full of human beings at the end of the day. I mean, what have been the most difficult mistakes that have been made in the African market that have had to be learned from?
Look, I think, at ECP we've executed 54 transactions. We've exited from 27 of them. Unfortunately, you don't get to do 54 transactions without some of them not turning out exactly as you planned. So I think the key thing is when you've got a transaction that doesn't work the way you thought it was going to, that you go back over it and that you really understand what it was that went wrong, and you make sure that those lessons are incorporated into the DNA of the business, and that you make better decisions next time around, you make better judgments. So we spend a lot of time making sure that we understand what the key drivers are, what's happened to our investments, and to make sure that experience is shared across the organisation.
Absolutely, and take those new skills forward into the next transaction. And in Africa, according to your expertise and your insights from ECP, what do you see as the key 2 or 3 opportunities and challenges facing you in the next 6 to 12 months?
I think we have the opportunities and challenges of every GP. We're looking to deploy the balance of the capital in our current Africa Fund 3 in fantastic transactions, and then at some point in the next year or 2 we'll be out looking to persuade investors that we've done a good enough job to raise Fund 4. I think one of the key challenges for us when we're actually looking at the investments is you've got a very favourable macroeconomic backdrop for Africa at the moment in terms of rising levels of GDP growth, but that doesn't automatically mean that a fund manager is going to be able to make money. So what we're really looking to do is then to drill down into the specific characteristics of particular sectors to really try and identify the exceptional opportunities that really will deliver returns. And so that's a lot of analysis at a micro level, going around really talking to people, using our teams on the ground to make sure we've really got an understanding as to what the dynamics are. That's really the biggest challenge, is to get that data, because one of the problems in Africa is just access to information. You can't subscribe to information services that will tell you everything. When we did due diligence on Nairobi Java House, which is a chain of restaurants in East Africa, a big part of the due diligence was driving around Nairobi looking at where they were planning to put restaurants, and you just looked around to see, okay, well, does this look like a sensible place? You've got to have a feel for the market that you're in.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that.